Why, hello there, fellow merchants. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Of Life and Land. Episode 4, Trading with Neighbors for Much Needed Copper. Were wheelbarrows an option? No. Wheelbarrows so if you're referring to this is just like decoration. So it looks like a wheelbarrow, but it's like to build benches and, you know, build just junk like that. You know, street signs. So it looks like a wheelbarrow for that purpose, but this is just a town design garbage. Which is cute to put it in. Don't get me wrong, it's just not going to solve any, you know, hauling problems. Alright. So we are waiting on the planks, but we have a lot more people making them now. And I would say it looks like about half of our people have hit tier 3, and they're demanding mostly faith. And the shrine requires copper, and copper requires us to import it from Hofdorf. So in order to satisfy people's religion needs, we are going to need a marketplace and a trade agreement in place with Hochdorf in order to import that stuff. Because some people are getting sad, like this one, Wolfram, who doesn't have practical clothing and can't pursue his faith and would like to have offspring but doesn't have room in the house or whatever, and wants beer but doesn't have a tap room. So there's a lot of like complaints, which is to be solved soon. Just gotta be patient, my man. Alright, so the simple barn finally got built again. Jordan is working it. And hopefully I set it up correctly. It does look like there's actually a sheep in there this time. So I didn't build it wrong. Alright, so now that we rebuilt that, we have just to set up the potter and the root cellar. Yeah, but we have a lot of people that are upset by the lack of stuff. So I have like negative fulfillment for tier 3. As you can see, the ones that have negative fulfillment for tier 3 are, you know, going to be more sad as a result. Just a matter of we teched up like kind of in the wrong season more than really anything else. Alright, that noise was a task. Poor lumberjack. A woodcutter who doesn't seem familiar. So they're asking for rough rags and planks. Sure, I'll agree to it. I don't have any planks just yet, but we are working towards that. And another task. First, pregnancy. Rough rags, basic clothing, grass, and planks. I'm going to hold off on this for when we have a more reliable source of basic clothing, because I don't really have that yet. Some of that was as a result of the bad barn stopping our, like, wool income. Totally my fault, but we got to fix it first before we can be like, yeah, go have children, because I have no way to actually supply that for them at the moment. Alright, the planks are coming in. Sheep are getting corralled. The food warning that we have, it's worth noting, again, it's like not a big issue because There's always foraging, and in this case, there's a lot of raw meat that can be turned into food with some firewood. So it's not like we're actually running low on food. It's just the amount of processed food is low. I do think that there's an important differentiation there. Oh my god, just build the pottery workshop already. I don't know where my planks are going to, but they are sure milking the work site. Which, you know, is true in real life. I guess. I've seen some construction. I've seen houses under construction for like 10 years. Like, yeah, we're getting to it. It's a supply and demand issue. We can't find enough alcohol for the worksite. Some of the planks, actually, I just realized are going to the Poor Lumberjack quest. So some of that is just like, I shouldn't have accepted the quest before I was able to actually source it. But as soon as that quest is done, because this is, you know, I could pause the quest. That would help. Now, as a general rule, I'm not going to... we have 4 empty beds, but I'm not going to add people to the settlement in the middle of winter. It's, like, definitely the wrong season to consider growth, which is why I'm holding off on that. Come on. One more plank. There it is. So now that we have the Potter's Workshop, Potter's Workshop takes essentially no input. It takes water and firewood to turn into pottery. Let's make... I'm actually not going to worry about the process speed bonuses here because there's not a lot of need for pottery. Full stop. So there's a few buildings that need it and a few upgrades that need it, but it's not like a regularly reused thing until we have like a tap room or whatever. So we'll just make sure to get some initial pottery going as cheaply as possible with like 2 upgrades and nothing more. So now that we have the pottery, we want to get the root cellar. Unfortunately, I had intended to get the root cellar before the winter, but now it looks like we're going to get the root cellar at the start of spring or something like that, but that's fine. So after we get that root cellar, the marketplace is the big draw, right? That would be the next big thing to set up. So, question is where I want to place it. I might actually put it like up here, kind of up and out of the way. And that's going to take pottery made from the new Pottery Workshop to build, which is why we couldn't do it until now. Once the root cellar's done, I'll resume the lumberjack quest. The happiness that we have, the negative happiness, is like it's still a bit consequential here, but I don't think anyone's gonna leave or anything. You know, it's not gonna cause like an exodus. It's just something to be fulfilled sooner than later. So the Potter's Workshop automatically collects their own clay. I don't really need to do that for them. The other thing I could do in this instance wouldn't be a terrible idea, eventually to get a well local to the Potter's Workshop so that they can supply their water a little bit more easily, but it's not a big deal. It's certainly not necessary to get the pottery we need. Okay, one more plank and the root cellar's done. There it is. And this is what is happening here is we take branches and veggies or fruit or cheese and just store it in the root cellar. Which is great. Absolutely great that you can stockpile in that way. Because stockpiling within like the gatherer's shack or farm or whatever isn't that efficient. So we have need of one more employee. I'm going to... Well, let's hit F and go to employment. Who's working somewhere that could be moved? Probably the hunter. I don't think we need 2 hunters. So, Sep, I'm going to move you into the root cellar. There we go. So now we're just missing some branches and pottery for the marketplace. And I'm going to start emitting new immigrants so that we can fill up our stockpiles of stuff that we're otherwise missing. So immediately I'm going to want some additional wood sawing and firewood because we don't have any planks. And for us to discover whatever this zone is, we need 60 planks. For here, it's basic clothing and work, and we have the basic clothing now. We have 9 in the stockpile. So I'm going to initiate discovering that location. These locations are practical clothing, and that's going to require the tailor workshop, which is to be done later. So there's some pathing problems here, huh? Oh, there's like some junk. Oh, right. I totally forgot I had the fin torch here. Let's destroy the fin torch. So that he can actually reach the root cellar. That's my bad. I think the warnings for that pathfinding will go away. Given recalculation time. So all that's needed for that is a few more pots, and we're good to go with the marketplace. And I'll fill up our town with as many people as are available to be hired or immigrated. So I'm sure I'll use them soon. So here in the Gather Shack, one of them I'm going to become an extra gatherer. Just because there's a lot of gathering work to be done, might as well just have a lot of hands on. And the other one will work in the marketplace. We also have new... Oh, right, the pregnancy task. I don't have a lot of rough rags stockpiled, so I'm going to hold off on that until we do. Ah, there it is. So here's the way the marketplace works. Adding a trade entry. Select your marketplace and add a trade entry for an item. So, let's say for meat, when we have over 125 of it, we sell it. And in the marketplace, we will internally provide up to 100... What else do we have a lot of? Cooked meat. But I don't think you export cooked meat. Drinks. All right, so the other thing, we're going to want to import copper. So we're going to want to buy, let's say, until we have 20 from our neighbors. And our neighbor that we're trading with, Hochdorf, let's get a quick gander at what they have. So they've got grass, fruit, veggies, exotic fruits, bread, bark, nuts, etc., stuff like that. They have copper. So I think the only thing we really want to import is the copper. They do, I mean, they have other things, but copper is really the only thing that we cannot source ourselves. So I just issued a import of copper up until we have 20 all the time. You know, just a continual buy. And we just bought 7. So here, this copper bar thing will go away in just a moment. As I just watched them purchase. And there it goes. A flourishing future. A lane stands next to you on a hill and looks out over your thriving settlement. The basic needs are now taken care of. I am proud of you. Continue to make sure the people are well and lead your settlement to a prosperous future. So, as you might imagine, we're going to need to start fulfilling some of the tier 3 tech before long. Getting our Forcer's Stump upgraded to a Forcer's Lodge would be a smart play. Getting a simple smelter to source local tin so that we can make bronze would be smart. Now that we have copper, there is, if we click on the smelter here, you'll see little highlighted blips around the map. And these highlighted blips are tin mines, tin deposits, which we could set up mines for. So, closest to our city hub would be maybe this one or this one that we could start tapping for tin. So that would be another smart thing to do. Replacing our gathering center with a farm once we have the pottery to do it would be a smart thing to do. Getting a copper and bronze forge so that we can actually take the copper and the tin that we make and turn it into bronze. Get a tailor shop for the better clothing. A bakery for better throughput of bread. A granary to store our grain. A tap room for community. Big cabins for better sleeping spots. A shrine. And the first one I'm going to do is actually going to be a shrine. The reason I'm doing the shrine first is it satisfies the religion needs of our people, which have been woefully neglected. And that's a pretty cheap thing to do, and it only costs like a copper and some pottery, bread, and hewn stone. We have the sweeping stations to keep the roads cleared. And we're going to want to start to upgrade our production facilities. So the tailoring workshop, the forestry, those are some big ones. And then once we have those upgraded, consider getting some locally mined tin and then turning it into bronze. So that's what we'll work on. Wow. We have no money. What else could we sell? We could sell leaves or grass, but like the amount of money that we get for that is pretty terrible. In terms of materials, no, there's really nothing I want to sell. I mean, once we have tin, we could sell the tin, but I don't have tin yet. So yeah, I'm gonna hold off. We'll just be broke. It's spring. So we have another quest, which is new seeds to gather cereal grain. Sure. A reason to celebrate using milk, raw meat, bread, and rough rags for some sort of celebration. Sure. And first pregnancy. Sure. Got a lot of quests going now. So, I think once we get the shrine going, a tailor workshop would be a pretty effective way to phase out the multiple low-tier tailoring that we got going on. And, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll put it here. Tailor on the hill. And then the other one that I had mentioned was the Forestry Lodge. And I'll build that up here to replace the 2 stumps that we've got. Oh, I might have put it a bad spot. Let me try that again. There we go. Forestry Lodge. So those would be 2 efficiency upgrades, which are big, right? You know, so that we start producing wood products and wool products quicker, more efficiently. We're also at our housing max, and getting some additional houses would be great. And of those houses, making sure that they're like big grand ones would be awesome. So I'm going to build a big cabin here as well. The big cabin, mind you, requires bronze parts, which we can't source. I'm going to pause this for now. We can't source until we have the bronze workshop and the tin mine. So that sort of comes first. But big moves. Definitely making big moves. How many people can live in a big cabin? 8. Twice as dense as the small one. It's taller, but it has the same footprint. Alright, hunting. I see a bunch of red deer around. Let's do that next. So of the 2 upgrades we've got going on, I'm going to focus on the Foresters first and the Tailor second. The Forester does require pottery, which is going to be a bit of a bottleneck, I suspect. Possibly even the planks. But I deem that more important than the other one. Soon we'll also have connection with whatever this location is, once we discover it, to see what kind of resources there are there. Now let's trace back the path that this tin mine would require. So we got a ramp here that then comes to here, maybe? That might be the closest. Because the other one, this tin mine, will go over the river and around the coast here. And that feels farther. So while they source the materials for the other construction projects I've got going on, I'm going to create a mud road out to the tin mine. Just for something for them to work on for now. And as is expected, pottery is definitely going to be the bottleneck here. I could try to move some workforce around so we have more potters temporarily. Or, alternatively, I'm going to spend 100 branches to speed up pottery. That'll help. Because we have a lot of branches. We're probably at a production max of branches, I suspect. Because we only store like 10 branches here and 30 branches here. So it's not like we store a lot of branches. So yeah, let's do that. Test pit does not look full, which is good. So once that fills up, we got a bit of an issue. And the game is trying to import more copper, but I don't have any money. So the other thing that we could consider is fulfilling some of the quests here. So now, once we've supplied the planks needed for these buildings, the tailor shop, and specifically, more importantly, the forestry, I'll continue the lumberjack quest. We are working on the cereal grains quest, and then reason to celebrate, we're working on the milk. What happened to milk? Jordan, why aren't you... Oh, that's not... Milk would be here. We have sheep that aren't producing milk? That one isn't. Let me try to figure out why we have milkless sheep. I mean, I get gender and all, but I don't think the sheep have gender in this game. I think it's because they haven't been provided grass. So I'm going to raise that up as a priority to feed these sheep milk. The other thing I could try to do is to plant grass just like in the barn area, in the empty plots that we've got here, to see if they can just graze for it. So I'll do that as well, without displacing any of the other wild crops that are in here, just because I like the visual variety. Yeah, I've got 400 grass in the colony, so it's just... we just need to provide them some more food. Jordan needs to go grab it. Jordan, where are you anyway? Yeah, I see Jordan's been making trips to the Gather Shack, so I suspect Jordan's working on it. Just need more time. We've nearly supplied all of the planks required for the Forester's Lodge. And then once the 15 planks is supplied for the Tailor Workshop, we'll open up the Lumberjack quest again. We almost have the new seeds quest. So this one is, I have a task for you. There's a village not far from you that needs help. Apparently their seeds have gone bad and desperately need new ones. Everything is prepared in the community center. So that rewards us rough-hewn stone and immigration. It's a nice to do, not a must to do, but still. And we are working, of course, on the reason to celebrate. An employee from the community center approaches you. Greetings. A year ago, we arrived here in Kerzoven. We've achieved so much since then. This deserves a big celebration. Can you help me with the preparations? With a mystery reward. And then the poor lumberjack is just... will you be able to... I want to make a boat for my son. Will you provide me the materials? We did manage the first pregnancy, flourishing future, and yeah. Alright, looking good. Progress solid. Up here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some additional broadleaf trees around the Forester shack. Just no pattern here, just kind of strewing them around. Alright, we do have another journal entry. That was just for the immigration, so I don't have anywhere for them to live yet. I don't want to build more small cabins. I want to go up to the big ones. Generally, as you tech up, things become more efficient, right? You get more bang for your buck out of a single forester's lodge than multiple smaller stumps. Same's true of the tailor shop over this individual rudimentary tailor tables. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to drive us towards efficiency so that we can fulfill our needs without having to balloon out our population. And to that end, I would also like to build the big cabins, which requires bronze and pottery, over the small ones because they will scale better longer. Because, as you can see, mansions is like something you get way the hell down the line. And it is not high efficiency housing. It's not how you put a lot of people into one spot. It's luxury, not efficiency. So, to that end, the big cabins is kind of, we're going to plateau for housing for a long time. So that's what I want to focus on. So all that's missing now is pottery. One thing I could do is furlough this employee here, the tailor, because we have pretty good equipment, tailoring equipment, and hire a second potter just to help out. Because we've been waiting on the pottery. The other thing is we could upgrade the processing speed of the pottery with wool. It's a little weird, but why not? I had the extra wool. We're sitting on it. Hasn't been spun, so might as well use it up to help out our bottleneck. Jordan, are you really getting grass? You know what I'm going to do? Activities. We had a lot of wool. Provide food. I'll just keep an eye on the simple barn for a while. The tailor shop is almost done too. Just a few planks left and some sticks, and that will be all set. And that will be very handy to be able to turn over the rudimentary tailoring tables. So I'm actually going to blow up that rudimentary tailoring table because no one actually worked there, and go down to just the one. I'm not going to worry about the morale. I'm sure the people that have morale needs are lacking practical clothing, shrines, and tap rooms. I mean, of course they are. I haven't built them yet. So I'm not... I know they're upset, and we are long-term looking at remedying that. Is somewhere displayed how many animals can fit into a barn? Yes, in the housing tab. So this barn has 6 sheep, capacity 6. And that's increased because we've upgraded it too. So it's maxed at the moment. And okay, we're starting to get milk because we're providing food. So we will have milk for that celebratory party soon. One of the other things is we're probably... Wait, you're both named Jordan? That's not confusing. We're probably turning most of the milk into cheese, so I'm going to fire the dairy worker and stop making cheese temporarily so that we can stockpile the milk for the celebrations. But yeah, do we for real have 2 Jordans? Or was it a bug? I think it was a bug. that like somehow Jordan worked in 2 places. I'm gonna fire Jordan and then auto hire someone. I think Jordan was like bugged out and like somehow working in both the open dairy and the simple barn, and that was the issue we're running into or something. I don't really, long and short of it is I find it sus that we didn't have milk for that long, and I think I was right to be suspicious. So tailoring requires 7 planks. We have, or 8 planks. We have 7 in storage already. Now we have 8. So, and Forester is done. So with the Forester's Lodge open, let's go and break down the other ones. And then hire both Foresters back here in the Forester's Lodge. We're going to install the processing speed rough-hewn stone. And that's it. None of the other upgrades. Cut down trees, collect branches, collect mushrooms, and collect leaves. And care for plants is going to be enabled as well. Care for plants will require dirt and water, which we don't have in stock, but like it's so far down the prerequisite tree, I'm not too worried about that. So there we go. We got a forester. So the other half of the equation is to get the tailor shop. Oh, and we discovered the mountains. So the mountains has iron. So we found tin, lead, copper, tin, lead, iron, unknown, unknown, unknown. Oh, and there's the tailor. So the tailor can make practical clothing, and practical clothing is grass, rags, and basic clothes. So they're like, you know, the ultimate tier or whatever. And I'm going to fire or close that down and put them to work in here. So Erica is working in there, and we'll upgrade. Ooh, I don't have the materials for this, so never mind. I don't have processing. I don't have bronze tools or furniture. So, I'd like to hire another person to work in there. And let's figure out where we want to move them from. So, employment. We have 2 foresters, 3 gatherers, 1 baker, 1 in the campfire. Hunter, marketplace. I could probably fire the marketplace person and put him in the tailor because I don't have any gold to even buy more copper, so it's not really a big deal. There we go. We got our 2 tailors now working to put practical clothing on our backs in time. Now that that's done, I think what I want to do is to immediately work on the shrine. But then after we get the shrine, I'd like to satisfy more of the mood. So instead of immediately going for bronze, which actually doesn't solve any of our community problems, I'm going to get the tap room so that we can make people happier. And then after we get the tap room, we'll consider what to do from there. So new seeds quest got done. Awesome. We helped out that neighbor or whatever. So we have the poor lumberjack, which I'm going to continue now that we have built all the things we immediately wanted out of the planks. And then we're still hypothetically collecting milk, although I find that sus. I don't know why we don't have milk yet. Oh, no, there's milk here. I think maybe we're drinking it before we can supply it for the quest or something. In any case, milk is being supplied. Alright, poor lumberjack. I don't even know how to thank you. At least here, at least take the wood I've collected. So he provided, oh my god, with a windfall of raw wood. Holy moly, that's a lot of wood. Well, thank you, dude. Thank you for tuning in to Of Life and Land, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow settlers.